So, what is this that I'm showing you today? It's a Rabswood guitar, so let me try to put it over the mic, that was handmade in England by Rabswood, I think that's his name. It has a beautiful finish, as you can see. Now it's this sort of aquamarine, sort of bluish, greenish sort of tone. And it wasn't like this, it was cobalt blue apparently, but it reacted with the finishing product, the oil used, and it became this greenish color. So you might be looking at this guitar in the future if I ever sell it, or something similar, or just looking at the handmade guitar and thinking, should I go for it? Well, price is a big consideration because these sort of things do lose in the market value in the long run compared to a Fender or a Gibson or whatever else it might be popular these days. For example, PJD is a very popular brand that makes the cream tea guitars for Billy Gibbons and everything, and even them don't tend to sell very well on the second-hand market. So that's a consideration. But on the other hand, you'll have a fully handmade guitar, well, one-off that no one else has, and that's quite a unique thing, you know, to have something that's unique to you at least while you own it. So what are the specs on this guitar? Just quickly going through them. Very quickly, matched headstock with shallow tuners, reveal binding that is not perfect, but it is good enough, 44mm nut, ebony board, block inlays, nickel frets, sort of mahogany neck, which is not mahogany, with a massive volute that I doubt it will ever break. This one has actually the headstock a bit too thin here, but I would consider this guitar more of a prototype because it was one of the first ones. A set neck with, again, a unique design. It might have been by choice. It might be a bit more similar to a hammer than a Gibson double cut itself. Binding, black plastic binding with a bit of reveal of the wood. Wood cover. And I hear it's CTS and Switchcraft electronics. Gibson P90s, I don't know which ones, and 2 tones and 2 volumes with a freeway switch. And that does it. You heard in the beginning I was going through the 3 sounds of neck, middle and bridge, and now I'll just play a bit more and then I'll tell you what I think about this guitar and about handmade guitars in general. So as you can tell, on the neck pickup, playing this sort of clean plays, sounds, I don't know how to call them, riffs, parts, it quite overdrives and creates this sort of sound that's a bit different from a neck pickup from a Strat, for example. But then again, if you put a bit of gain in it, this is what it sounds like. That's that sort of thing. Middle, let me think. Let's try this. I'm not happy with any of this playing, but I have not a lot of time. I'm just demonstrating that it's possible to play it all over the neck, and even with a bit of chords would be. good sustain. I have a small amp and it is still sounding. Tell you what I think about handmade guitars in general. I think there are great deals to be had with handmade guitars because I don't think it makes sense to buy a handmade guitar for the same price of a production guitar with similar specs and hardware. I think it makes sense to buy like an £800 Telecaster handmade by someone with really good pickups and great hardware. It's sort of the same logic that applies to part casters. Or you can pay £2,000 or £3,000 and get a Super Eagle sort of guitar. It won't be the same thing, obviously, but with the carved top, semi-hollow, with the pickups that you want and everything. So, and you're saving £11,000. Or a vintage example that you really want, but it's completely unattainable, and Fender is not making it, or no one else is making it, the original ones are not making it. Have someone hand make a guitar for you. For example, this guitar, it doesn't seem like the copy of anything. Because also the bridge is not a wraparound or a pneumatic. There is no guitar in the Gibson range that is like this, even though these are P90s by Gibson. So, when that is all said and done, it is preferable. Otherwise, production guitars are great. I have this Provocateur, Share Gold Provocateur, which is the best guitar, you know? It's the best guitar. It has Seymour Duncan 59s, it has a great bridge, it has locking tuners, string through body. It's the best guitar. It's a great gigging guitar, very stable, great sounds. It's one of those guitars that you pick up and you don't have to think about it. It's like, am I sounding good? Is the neck too overdriven? Is it a proper guitar? No, it's the best guitar in that sense. Straightforward. I could live just with that guitar. A Strat is a Strat, and the semi-hollow is a semi-hollow. And again, this Strat, for example, is handmade as well by Loxley. What does it have special? It's a hardtail. There's not any hardtail from Fender being made at the moment that I think of. With a hip shot sort of bridge. I can't point at it. Let me point here. With a hip shot sort of bridge. Ash body. Purple heart fretboard. So it doesn't exist within the Fender range. So you can find really cool alternatives that are unique to you. And if you ever become an artist and you want to have a unique sound that sets you apart from others and a unique look, that's a great way of doing it. If you want to have something that is... If you want a Les Paul, buy a Les Paul. If you want a Telecaster, buy a Telecaster. If you want something else that is different and unique and quirky and cool, that might have some issues, because these people, not all of them, are professional luthiers, otherwise you'll be paying through the roof, like 10k, 20k, like you sometimes see for some guitars. I think it's a great option. So hit up Rabswood on Facebook. He still has a few of these for sale. This wasn't a sale pitch, he didn't ask me to do this, but I think that it's worth having, it's worth playing, it's worth enjoying. So stay safe, keep playing, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.